Who is Rhun Iorwerth, and why is he connecting with the Welsh people? Hi guys, welcome back to the Welsh Spitball, and today we are answering everything Rhun Iorwerth, otherwise known as the new First Minister of Wales, newly elected. Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another video. Let me just fix that real quick. Welcome back to the Welsh Spitball. It's been a little minute, but I'm back. I do want to carry on with these videos. I enjoy doing them, and yeah, I think it's important to have an open discussion and a chat, and I don't know, just some dialogue over everything that's happening in Wales and the United Kingdom and just the world, I guess, maybe Europe. Maybe that's as far as I'll expand, but yeah, I think it's important. So I just want to have an open conversation about everything, and yeah, see if we can find some, maybe not common ground, because I don't want it to be like a debate. I want it to be just people bringing their opinions. Yeah, I like debates, but I don't know. I feel like they've gone a bit toxic in the world. People just want clips, so it doesn't really matter who wins. I think that everybody can win if they get exactly what they wanted out of the conversation, which sounds good, but they're pointless. I think that the person that actually won, technically in the discussion, might not be the one that comes across as the winner online, because they haven't got the ones that have all the clips and all these different things. So I kind of want it just to be people putting their opinions across, and yeah, we'll answer some opinions and have a chat about them, and yeah, have a discussion about them. So if you did want to follow along, please subscribe, and let's get into the video. So Rhun Iorwerth, who is he? So he has been a member of the Senedd for 27 years. He has been the whole time that the Senedd has been devolved, and yeah, he's been working hard, and I don't know, he's been part of Plaid since the beginning, and now he is the First Minister. And I think that, although the right and the left, everybody's sort of saying that the world's not going to end, like people want to sell stuff, and people want to get their opinions across, and they want to reach as many people as possible. So I think that they create these sort of, not hit pieces, but these, I don't know, I think that people just want to click, don't they? And like, I've done it here, like, I'll probably make the thumbnail, with a massive X across his face, or like, I don't know, just something that drags people in, just because that is what sells, and that is, I don't know, that is the world that we live in, which is a little bit sad. But I don't know, if you can't beat them, join them, eh? It's yeah. So Rhun Iorwerth, why are people clinging to Plaid's message? And I think it's the exact same reason people are clinging to Nigel Farage's and the Reform Party's policy. People just want change, and I think that when people want change, it doesn't really matter who gets in power. I think that, for one, I don't think it matters, because I don't think that they can win. Either way, I don't think that they can win. It is very hard for a whole nation to be fed up and just a little bit, I don't know, hopeless, I think. And for a party to win at the same time, it's almost impossible. No matter what he does, he could literally be the best First Minister that we've ever had by a long shot, and he still can't win. So obviously that can be sort of liberating in some sort of way, but also can be, painful in another way. If you know that you can't win, and he's got a minority government, he didn't get the 49 seats that he actually needed to have a majority. He's not going after a coalition, so he is literally just going to be trying to negotiate as best as he can, which I can't see going too well for him, only because Reform are the opposition. They are the opposition. I know Labour's meant to be, but it's or Conservative are meant to be, but there is no other way to put it. They've got a lot of seats in the Senedd, and yeah, I just don't see it going too well. But I think, so I read online that Plaid's sort of angle of all this is going to be trying to not create some drastic, crazy, really progressive changes to begin with. They just want to get rejections from Westminster. So basically, their plan is to get loads of rejections from Westminster. On sort of minor things that they know that they're going to reject, that people will want. So it could be just more funding. Like it could just be the money back from HS2. It could be more powers to govern their own taxes, or just sort of half minor things that Westminster are going to reject. So he can be like, Westminster isn't working for Wales, we need to leave. And then as soon as he gets those rejections from Westminster, he'll go on a publicity trail, and then Wales will want to leave. Now, I've already made a video on leaving or remaining. I think it's a topic that is quite sensitive, but it's also quite a difficult one to answer. Wales is, well, in nobody living's lifetime has been independent from England. I think that it's been an amazing thing. I think it's been an amazing thing overall. Obviously, if you go back into like the Welsh history and stuff, that's quite, shit. And to be honest, I'm going back and forth whether to make a video on Welsh history just as itself and literally just put it in black and white, exactly everything that's happened. But the only thing is that I'm an optimist that likes to pull out problems in the world and business and loads of different things. Like, I like to come up with problems, but I'm an optimist. I think people get that confused with being like someone that is, I don't know, like hopeless and just annoyed at the world or whatever. Like, I'm not. I'm quite excited for the world and the prospects of Wales having Plaid in power, or just a different party to Labour. I think that's what most people think right now, is that they just want something different from Labour. They've been in power for 100 years in Wales, which I know you're thinking the Senators have been around for 27. Labour governed Wales from a distance. They before the Senedd, we still were ruled by someone, and that was Labour. And then 27 years of actually having them running for Wales, which I don't think they did. I think that a lot of things are easy to assume in politics. I'm not an expert in politics. I'm not a politician. I'm not going down that route at all. But no matter whose side you're on, the other side is trying to bring you down. And I don't know. I think that's a major flaw in politics. It's really difficult. I think that politics is so divisive, and it's all divisive. I think it's all clinging on to our hopes and what we. I don't know. I think realistically, right, we all want what's best for wherever we live. So I live in Wales. I want the best for Wales. I think that a strong, happy Wales will be a strong, happy United Kingdom. I think that we are really important to the United Kingdom. I don't think we get enough credit for what we do. I think that Welsh people just want a change, and I think that's how Plaid got into power. I think that's how Reform will get into power if they do get into power. I think that people just want change, and I think that that's exactly why Rhun Iorwerth did get into power. I think that it's what people sort of feel like they need, and that's exactly why Labour are falling apart at the moment. Not because Keir Starmer's necessarily doing the worst job in the world. People just want change. People just want an answer to all their problems. And I think that to be honest, if you go back 40 years, 50 years, it sort of started then when the United Kingdom sort of started regressing rather than progressing. And I wasn't alive for them, but I do read a lot of history, and I watch a lot of videos on history, and specifically like politics and wars and just history in general, really. But the downfall of the UK started long before Conservative or Labour single-handedly ruined the UK. But nevertheless, I do understand why people just want change and, just want the people to be held accountable for what they are doing or what they're not doing, more importantly. So what do people actually want? So I think most people agree that they want, especially in Wales, people want more opportunities for young people. I think that to be honest, I'm really confident in saying that there's not enough opportunities for young people. So, funny enough, I was looking on Indeed the other day, and I'm a really qualified person, I guess, in my own right, and I wasn't necessarily looking for a job, but I was just scrolling, and there is nothing online for young people to even try and go for. And I don't know, even in the last, I know we had COVID and we had wars and all these different things that have factored into that, but there's just not enough jobs for young people. That's just, I think it's a fact. There's not enough opportunities, hence why uni students are leaving, rich people are leaving, activists and progressive people are leaving. So many people are leaving because there's better opportunities elsewhere. If you look at any rising, like Singapore, they're doing absolutely incredible. They're the same sort of size as us. Denmark, sort of same size as us, doing incredible. Like so many countries that are just as small as us that are doing way better than us, and it's because there's not enough opportunities for young people. I think that young people just don't have enough to go off. For one, we don't have enough experience. I think that, obviously, we don't have enough experience. We've only been alive for, say, 35 years or less. And, I think it's really hard for people to get on the property ladder. And, I don't know, I think that people have the opportunity to go to university. And I got into a bit of a debate with my partner the other day, because she was saying that Scotland's got free universities, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing, cool. We used to have that, brilliant. But we sort of do still have it, and what I mean by that is, you go to university completely funded. You might have to get a part-time job just to eat better, but generally, you have your university studies funded. You can get accommodation funding, your obviously course funding. You can get funding for everything, right? And then you only pay it back if you earn a certain amount. If you leave that, if you leave that job, you don't pay it back. So although yes, it's a loan and it will probably hang over you until you retire, probably, but I'm sorry, but you get probably the most convenient loan that you could possibly get, that you probably will never pay back, which sounds bad, but it's only because if you don't pay it back, you don't earn enough to pay it back. So it's all in proportion. So it's the most convenient loan that you'll ever have. So I sort of half think that university is free. Obviously you're paying back money, but you only pay it back if you've got the money. If I took out a business loan for, God, I don't know how much my partner's loan was, but we'll just guess at 35, 40 grand. If I took that out, I'd be paying back, okay, I'm not going to do maths that quickly, and it obviously depends on interest rates, but we'll say £1,200 a month, give or take. I'd be paying that back regardless. And I think that's one point that I really want to get across. So I made a video and I scrapped it because I felt like it was just a bit shit. But the point that I did bring up in it is that there are a lot of grants available for people to start a business. So, you got private company grants, you've got council grants, you've got you could have West Wales grants, you can have South Wales grants, you can have government grants, You can have Welsh government grants. Like, there's so many different grants out there for so many different things. You've got the energy sector. You've got retail and hospitality. You've just got startup. You've got renewable integration grants. You've got so many different grants, and yet it's still not enough because most people can't actually get the grants that they need. I think that that's what a lot of people's problems is just not enough opportunities for people. Like, not necessarily just young people, just people to, I don't know, like most people don't start a business until they're sort of 30 odd, at best 30 odd. And it's because, for one, money, but two, they've got to wait until they have the confidence to be able to do that. You have to have some sort of stress management and confidence and sort of a belief in yourself that you can actually achieve that. Most people don't get that until later in life. And I think that, I think we need to have more jobs, more opportunities for people that have left university and don't know what to do. So I'll tell you a little bit of information. So my partner, when she did law, and then she got a master's degree. During a master's degree, she had 300 and something odd people on her one course, right? So she was only there for 2 days a week for, I don't know how long it was, however long it was, it doesn't matter. Just for one course, there was over 300 and something people. Do you know how many law jobs, even like entry level paralegal jobs? Yeah, there was 12 in the whole of the UK. And this was a good couple of years ago, but I can't imagine it's changed too much. That was just in one university, one course, and for, I think it was like 3 years, however long it was, 2-3 years. I'm sorry, but if we've got that many people training for, and that's just law, like, fuck, if you go into any sector, chances are there's going to be a lot more demand for the positions that there are, and I think that is a failing of the government. I think that they have the opportunity to help businesses hire. I think when I was hiring for my businesses, it's really expensive to hire people. You're much better off just trying to keep your staff. And I think that's common knowledge, but if you didn't know, it's a lot cheaper to just keep your staff, try and keep them happy, even if you have to give them a pay rise. Generally speaking, it is more expensive to hire someone else than just keep your staff happy. So when you've got businesses that need staff or need some sort of help in whatever way, it is so hard to actually hire those people to get the job done. And then you got failing businesses, and then you got stress that the owner is under, and all these different problems that come from that. I think just starting with business, and that's why I'm going into small businesses. That's actually wearing my jumper that is meant to promote it, but it's hidden. Basically, my goal in life is to help small businesses eventually for free. I'm really hoping if we can create like some sort of movement. But for now, I'm helping small businesses, basically giving them a partnership with an expert so that they can have the peace of mind that they know that there's momentum in their business and things are moving forward in the right direction. And when there's a really difficult decision that may be make or break for their business, they've got an expert there that might help them through that. And that's what I want to do. And I think that starting with business will fix a lot of our problems. And I'm just hoping that Rhun will realise that. I think that it's so easy as well for left and right to be, right to all be about business and immigration, and then left to all be about socialism and all this. But I think that realistically, most people want someone in the middle. Like any time that I talk to someone, generally speaking, they're in the middle. No, I'm not even going to say generally, actually. Most people, pretty much everybody, is down the middle. People want small businesses to thrive. People want a healthy immigration system. They just want Wales, I'm speaking about now, to just work. Most people just want Wales to work. And I don't think it is working at the moment, and I'm not someone that's down and depressive about it. Like, I think that we can make a change, and people do make changes, and that's what I want to do. That is my goal in life, is to make change for the better. And I think that we can make change. I think that people just feel a little bit hopeless and don't know where to turn as well. I think that people are just sort of in a headlights a little bit and just don't know where to go from. I don't know, just feeling hopeless, basically. People feel like they're in dead-end jobs. As well as opportunities for young people, people just want the economy to work. And I spend a lot of time thinking about the economy, and I know that sounds really sad, but that's what I enjoy. I enjoy coming up with ideas of how to bring in more money and keep more money and just make everybody financially better off. And I look at economies like Ireland, Ireland, not UK Ireland, Northern Ireland. I look at Monaco. I look at Japan. I look at all these countries, right? I look at Germany. Germany are making waves in so many different ways at the moment. They've just actually spent 500 billion trying to reboost the economy because manufacturing was a little bit down. But I think about the economy a lot, and yeah, again, it's sad. I get that, but it's actually really interesting because the amount of economies that have thrived in the past gives more money to their people. Now, whether you want to agree or disagree, it is a fact. So many countries will put an injection of money into their economy in real world scenarios. The trickle down process does not work. If you want to listen to conservatives' lies, trickle down does not work, but trickle up does. And so it's so annoying. So I read a lot about different countries as well, and I forgot which country it was, but you may be able to I don't know if you would actually. I'm going to be quite vague here, but basically a country was in Rhun, and it was way back when. It was it was a long time ago, and basically the government was worried, and they decided to put, I think it was 25 billion, which in today's money doesn't seem that much, but way back when it was a stupid amount. And they decided to put it into rails, manufacturing, and just resurfacing their roads, and just helping their just like transport, but not necessarily in like buses and stuff. The trains was the only thing. And then, just fixing the roads, fixing bridges, just infrastructure work, basically. And only 25 billion, which I can't remember when it was. I will find it out and let you know. In today's money, for example, Germany has the fourth biggest economy in the world, and they're putting in 500 billion in the hopes to regen their economy. And it works. And it works every single time, because what'll happen is, for example, if you've got the groundsmen and the surface workers and the roadmen and like all these people, roadmen, leave it out. I'm ill. I've got fog brain. But if you have all these people building roads and fixing bridges and all these different things, right? They're going to be paid their salary, blah blah blah. Then that business will also get an injection of money because they hire private companies to do that. They don't do it. Like, the government doesn't actually do it themselves. They subcontract it out to a company. That company will have money. They'll obviously keep profit from that. They'll pay their staff. They'll pay taxes. They'll pay themselves, of course. And then they'll spend it in smaller businesses like, food and groceries and electric and all these different things. Maybe even going on a little holiday around the UK or wherever. And then they pay their staff for that money, and then it works, and I know I've got fog brain, and I know that I'm not, sort of coming up with the best argument for why we should be, it's actually beneficial for governments to fix roads and to invest, and I think that's the only way out of, I don't want to say the hole that we're in, because we're not in a hole. The right and the left will paint a picture of us being in this awful place as a country, and the world's going to end if we don't get into power, and all this bollocks, right? The world's not going to end. Yes, people are struggling. People are really struggling at the moment. I see it every single day, and hence why I'm trying to stop that. But the only way out of it is through investment, and I don't know. I think that obviously governments are scared to be able to invest in their. I was going to say business. It is their business. It's the biggest business in the world. People are just scared of investment, and because it can backfire. But it's the only way through, and yeah, I think more investment is needed. And I know we take on a lot of debt as a country, but that is so that our economy works. There's a debt paradox, and basically, realistically, debt is really good, especially as a country. It's not as scary as we think it is. Yes, if we borrow money, it is way worse than if we just if we make money, it is way worse than if we just borrow it. And so that's why governments aren't really too fussed about borrowing loads. Germany is, actually, I say that, they're the fourth biggest country in the world, or economy in the world, and they don't actually borrow much. They borrowed the 500 billion, which is revolutionary. They actually had to change laws so that they could borrow that, because they had laws in place to make sure that they couldn't borrow money, or that much money. But look at America. Well, okay, look at every single country in the world, basically. They'll take on as much debt as they can, because it means that they can invest, and yeah, they can pump money into their economy that goes higher than inflation, or their interest, sorry, and yeah, it just works out for a country. So yeah, and they've got the biggest backers in the world. They've got us that will bail them out every time. So I feel like they've got the confidence to be able to take on that debt without any backlash. But back to Rhun. So I think that people want someone that they can connect with, and I think that because he seems quite down to earth and quite just normal person-esque, in a good way, I think that people just want someone real, and someone that, I don't know, I think that they want someone that they can blame as well. Even people that have voted for him, I think they want someone that they can sort of pinpoint good and bad things, and I think that he is going to be, maybe not the full guy, I think that he's going to do pretty well, hopefully, generally, but I think that he is going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be a little bit like Keir Starmer, where no matter how good he does, it's not going to be good enough, and I don't know, I think that although that can be liberating, it can also be a bit worrying as well, so I guess we'll see in the next couple of years and see what he does and see what he doesn't do, which is probably more important, because I know it's quite a famous thing. I didn't know it was famous until I saw it on... It was, if you ever watched Outlaws, so there's a program called Outlaws, right? And it's quite sort of, it's not a massive show, but it's really, really funny. So if you did want to check it out. It's so funny. But I didn't know it was an actual saying until I watched that. And it's, if you're not progressing, you're regressing. And I thought I made that up, but it was because I watched it like 5 years ago, and I didn't realise that I got it off that show, and I thought I made it up. And then I watched the show again the other day, or a couple of weeks ago, and I saw it in that, and I'm assuming that's where I got it from. But if you're not progressing, you're regressing. I think the only way to progress as a country is to have investment. I think that investment is probably the overall factor. If you invest in manufacturing, transport, and just the people into private sector, I think that, an economy will thrive. Getting people to just chat and sit down and just talk about ideas that they've got, and I don't know, what they want to see in the future and what they want to see their country become. And that's exactly what I want this channel to be. I don't want it to be and I do want some feedback on these videos. I'm someone that will pick out 1,000,001 problems, I think I also pick out 1,000,001 solutions or just like good things, but I think a lot of people think that I come across as quite negative. In my head, I'm the most positive person in the world. Like, I genuinely want the best for so many different things, and like I see a lot of good in a lot of things. But yeah, I just like to pick out problems, but sometimes that comes across as negative. So I do want feedback on how it comes across in these videos, because my goal is to create a open dialogue of people that can just chat and come up with ideas and just, I don't know, I want to create a movement of people helping people. And yeah, that's my goal, but also through dialogue and just not necessarily people that 100% agree with each other, but people that 100% want the best for Wales and the UK and Europe and the world. That is my goal. So yeah, that's what I want this channel to be. So please give me some feedback in the comments, and yeah, let me know. And going back to supporting young people, young people aren't staying in Wales. People outside of university are just going to better opportunities. You know, even if we just look at them going to England, Wales has a massive problem of training up, like just any profession really. I was going to pick nursing, but there's so many different professions that we train up. We train up so many people and then just let them go. And obviously it's not just England. Like, we literally Australia, America maybe, I don't really know, to be honest. But I know they go to Australia a lot, and Wales does not keep the graduates that they paid for to go to university. And yeah, I think it's just a crying shame that we don't have a system that gets them from university into a good job and then gives them progression. They chase pay. People want pay. People want good pay, and they're just not getting that in Wales. So yeah, again, I think investment. I think that if you got invested in businesses, you know, gave them. I know this is controversial, but if you just gave people tax breaks, businesses tax breaks, not people, businesses, small businesses tax breaks, you would see a lot more money going around the economy. I'm not an economist. I did not go to university, but I read a lot about economies, and I've read so many different countries' history from the side of economics rather than, you know, social, whatever. You'll get more money if you give small businesses tax breaks. I'm just, putting that out there. I know people will come for me for that, because why should businesses, you know, they earn all this money. A lot of businesses aren't earning loads of money. You'll see, you know, Amazon or McDonald's or, you know, Tesco's or whatever with £3 billion extra in profits this year, whatever it may be. They are so out of the realm of possibility for 99.999% of businesses. It is unbelievable. So I was going to go into my finances with my businesses, but I'm actually not going to do that. Maybe I'll make a video on it. But I'm quite open about finances. I don't think that it should be a taboo subject, especially when you're a business owner. I think that it's important to let people know reality of business. But one thing I will say is revenue and profit are completely different things. People get those confused. When you see a care home with revenues of, say, £2 million, their profit might be 4% of that, maybe even less. I was watching a mechanic talk about his P&L since Brexit. And again, Brexit is another topic that I may cover in a future video, but whether it was right or wrong, I was watching a video on this mechanic that basically his revenue was 1.2 million and his profit used to be 40%. So his outgoings were 60% and he was living his dream. And yeah, I think it was 35% profit, and he was living his dream. He had the best life ever. He'd work sort of 3 or 4 days a week, and yeah, he was just living his life. Brexit happened, didn't really notice much, And then after, I think it was after COVID, his profit went to minus 1%. He was losing money every single year, and it's just crazy how easy it is. So he used to employ, I think it was 40 people. I think that's where I got the 40 from. And now he employs like 7 or 8. And yeah, that's, if it was 40, that's 33 people that just don't have a job overnight. And yeah, what I'm saying is, and that was because his costs of goods went up. So he was a mechanic, so he bought parts, fixed them. The cost of the parts, well, shipping them specifically, got dramatically more expensive. And yeah, so there's another little story for you. So what I am hoping from Rhun ap Iorwerth, whether you voted for him or agree with him or don't agree with him or whatever, even if you voted for the polar opposite, he is in power. And I think if you genuinely cared about Wales, regardless of who gets into power, I think that we should hold them accountable, but I also think that we should be rooting for them. I think that, I don't know, the only way that we'll all succeed is if we all create a system and a community of people that really want to make change and do good and to make Wales a better place. I think that so there's 17 different types of government, and we have a system that is obviously a democracy, but there's also sort of a subsection that we fit into, which basically we allow people to sit in Parliament, and we have an opposition to whoever's sitting in power. At the moment, it's Labour, and their opposition is Conservative, right? And although that's good because you hold them accountable and you give them an opportunity to be like, no, that was shit, that was shit, that was shit. But if you watch any debates of Parliament, it is absolutely embarrassing that we have those people running the country. They're just trying to take claws out of each other and digs here and trying to get a clip here and all these different things, which I get that that's how they run, that's how they get votes, but it's just embarrassing. And I 100% agree with holding people accountable, and if they've done a shit or a bad job, I think that they should be called out for it. But when you have the opposition, for one, purposely trying to bring them down, by voting against them and, just trying to stall their progression, but you also have them trying to tear them down in front of everybody and across the country and all these different things, you're just bringing everybody down rather than bringing your party up. And I think that that's one thing that we do need to get clear in this country, not just Wales, in the UK. Yes, it's good to hold them accountable, but God, we're not doing that. We're going above and beyond to bring them down, which brings everybody down. And it creates stagnation, it creates a depressive feel, it creates everything bad with a country. And yes, I agree with what we have got. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, it just basically means that we can oppose them in Parliament in front of everybody and hold them accountable, which, if you look at it surface level, brilliant. But it's gone so far removed where we just try and argue, basically, in Parliament, and there's no professionalism, there's no holding them accountable. There's literally just trying to bring them down, and it does my head in. So I don't even watch Parliament debates anymore. I'm fed up of it. I can't be bothered. And then the Senate is pretty much the exact same. We have a little bit more decorum there. We do sort of let them talk, and I don't know. There's a lot less people, so I think it's a lot easier to sort of have that. But it's not any better. If we had the same amount of people in that room, it would be the exact same. And I think that's one thing that I do want to shuffle out. I don't think that we should have that. I think we should be able to hold them accountable. I think there should be an 18th form of parliament or government, and I don't know what it is yet, but I think it should be a way for people to hold them accountable, but without just arguing in Parliament. it is unprofessional, and yeah, it just doesn't give you any respect for who's running the country, which is a scary thought in itself. So I'm really hoping that Rhun ap Iorwerth can, just bring community back, and just try and unite people. And whether you love him or hate him, that video going around of him, or of there's probably about 150 people just singing not Amar Heed, which would have been a better choice than Canalan. I think Amar Heed should be our national anthem. I think it's the best song ever. I listened to it just by listening to it. It's just fun. It's just a nice song. But yeah, when you get people singing, and we're Welsh, we are known for our singing, sheep, and that's about it. That's about it. But that's okay. That is okay. Singing is what makes the world go round, and yeah, I'm proud to be a nation of singers. I can't sing myself, but I wish I could. But yeah, I think that just building a community of people that want to do best for Wales, and just allowing them to get on with it while still holding them accountable, it's a really fine line that I think that we need to get right in the whole of the UK. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. And so generally, I want this section to be all about talking about like your opinions and the comments that you've made on the videos, just talking about that. Obviously, I don't have any comments, so if you did want to comment an opinion that you had, or it doesn't even have to be about the video that we actually spoke about, it could just be about anything to do with Wales or the UK, or maybe even a bigger picture. But just having an opinion. I just want to create a chat and a dialogue, and yeah, get people chatting. So if you did like what I'm doing here, go to my website, or you can email me. It's simple. If you're a small business owner, right, just email connect@benevansconsultancy.com. Well, I'll give you a free consultation on your small business. See if I can help your business make more money, keep more money, and create movement around your business. So if you did like the thought of that, please follow along, and yeah, go to my website and see what good I'm doing over there. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.